In line with global trends, the past decade has seen the rise of a new type of entity in the South African financial services space, the Discretionary Fund Manager, or DFM, which is a solution that is perfectly in line with giving clients more tailored and personalized solutions. So, most certainly a step in the right direction. My guest today is Max Mojapelo. Max is Executive Head of Solutions, Proposition and Distribution Efforts. That's a huge title. Welcome, Max.
Yeah, you know how it is. They always come up with the best of titles. But yeah, thank you so much for having me.
I had to read it a few times to understand what that title means. It's a first for me. Max, let's start.
Mm.
How has the landscape of DFMs evolved in South Africa over the past years? In other words, when did we really see the rise of the DFM? That's something that happened for me fairly recently.
Yeah, no, I mean the proliferation of DFMs in the country has definitely increased.
Mm.
And I mean some are even saying, listen, we're getting to a point where there's probably a need for consolidation. But if you really want to have a look at it like from a trend point of view where we're coming from, you will probably have to go to the early, I'd say like early 2010s. That's really where you started seeing one or two of the current players in the market launching what would have been at the time off-the-shelf solutions. So you were just buying these rep solutions from a platform, for instance, and there wasn't much customization that you were actually getting. And as the various players were wanting to differentiate themselves, then they started creating, these customizable solutions that were a lot more attuned to what the advice process of the IFA would be. So I mean, we've got a few, I'd say a few players in the market. Some of them have their roots deeply rooted in multi-management, such as PPS Investments, where you've been managing money from the inception of your business, and the DFM service is actually just an additional service in which you deliver your multi-management propositions to the independent financial advisors and to any other advisors.
It's certainly, in terms of releases and content we've received, there's certainly a lot more in the last, I would say, year in the DFM space. So maybe we can talk about
Okay.
key trends advisors should be aware of when
Mm.
talking DFMs.
Yeah. So and you're definitely right on that that those trends, the very late tail end, those trends. And it really goes to the core of what the DFM was doing. So the DFM was a category 2 investment manager getting into a relationship with a category 1 intermediary, which would be your advisor. And at the start, as I said, it was mostly original money managers, so your
Mm.
multi-managers and what have you, now coming and saying, listen, I've got a Cat 2 license and I can get into a relationship with you as a Cat 1 to then say, your advice process and my investment process together can create a solution that is a lot more suitable for the various groups of clients that you've got. But what then started happening was that, well, some of the advisors have category 2 licenses. So then for them it was, well, I might as well also do that with my other, Cat 1 friends. So now you've got not necessarily previously or currently multi-managers that are offering DFM services. You've got anyone who has a Cat 2 license saying, I can also offer this service as well. Um, and you've got all sorts of arrangements that you're finding. And I mean, it's one of those things where due diligence is you need to carry out that reasonable due diligence to say, listen, am I comfortable? Is there sufficient robust research being carried out? Is there sufficient robust portfolio construction techniques that are being employed to actually create these solutions, and sufficient risk management and portfolio monitoring and so on and so forth? All the things that you get from your typical money manager.
One of my questions was, what impact do the recent regulatory changes, such as the COVID bill, have on the DFM industry? And maybe we can also touch on the compliance risks. And I think you've sort of started touching on that.
Yeah, so I mean, coffee is one of those I'd say like legislative pieces that we really need to embrace, because it's market conduct. It's not tick the box. So for us, we welcome it, and we are ready for it. From an internal point of view, and from a DFM point of view. Remember, because we are a money manager at the core, there's nothing that's going to take us by surprise there, because we already have clients in our fund of fund solutions. We already have clients in our institutional set of solutions. So for us, it's just a continuity, and we are looking at it. We're looking at Omni CBR. We're looking at all of the compliance requirements, the monitoring that we're going to have to do, and we simply just take everything that we're doing for ourselves, and we say, listen, because you've partnered with us, then we can provide you with the same services. So I think, if you don't have that infrastructure, if you don't have those capabilities in-house, and you've just been, creating paper portfolios, for instance, and those are your model portfolios, but you don't have the backbone, you don't have the infrastructure, the support, and what have you in the processes, then it's going to be a very different time when coffee really comes into play.
But for you guys, it's basically business as usual, right?
It's business as usual. We have to prepare for that. We have to have ESG policies. We have to have certain other things, because we are money managers. We go beyond the DFM capabilities. For us, the DFM capability is an additional service that we think is suitable for when you engage with an independent financial advisor, with an advisor, any one of the PPS advisors, and so on and so forth. But if that's all you do, I would say, this is the time to start really thinking about that, and welcome to the world of heavy regulation.
Yeah. Max, when do advisors typically make use of a DFM for their clients? Is there a specific scenario, a specific type of client that fits the model better?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been around the country, busy engaging with prospective advisors and prospective IFAs and what have you on our services, and for us, what we have noted is that a lot of our advisors are either risk specialists, generalists in their nature, younger brokers, and they typically will make use of the more established platforms later on, in other instances. So for us, we are actually saying, listen, there's a whole group of advisors that really need help, and we're focusing in on that heavily to say, listen, we really want to just make sure that even if you've got your 10 million, 20 million book, it's fine. For us, we can work with you. We're not necessarily looking for anybody with large assets and what have you, because at the core of it, what is a DFM providing? It's providing a solution that is linked to an advice process, and that works for 10,000 as much as it works for a 10 million rand deal. So for us, we don't make those hard kind of like segmentation to say we want to look at this type of market. We're glad to look at those at the tail end, as the industry would look at it. For us, we say, listen, that advisor one day is going to become a very big advisor, and they need the help.
I'm glad you actually touched on the younger advisor, because I thought that this is an ideal opportunity for a younger advisor to open up his time and to learn if he uses a DFM. And we all know what the average age of the advisor is. And I was at the recent FPI conference, and it was incredibly refreshing to see that the top 3 financial planner of the year finalists was all under the age of 40, and the winner is 33, although I think he looks about 28. But that for me was really refreshing to see the rise of the younger advisor, and I think for them this is such a great tool, such a great solution with clients and great big clients that they really want to attract.
No, 100%. I mean, and you'd be surprised, eh? So that it's sometimes it's your younger advisor that one either has studied finance and what have you, and they're coming in and they've got lots of questions. And yes, they start off with right and risk because we know that there are those commissions and what have you, and in the investment book is one where you need to build it up to create that level of comfort for you as an advisor. And for us, if we can go with you on that journey, we are very much saying we welcome you and we want to work with you and we want to grow with you. And that's how we are playing it from the PPS investment side.
Talking about we want to grow with you and bring your money to us, what is the fee structure typically associated with DFMs, Max?
Yeah. Oh, typically associated with DFMs. Yeah. So I mean, I can kind of like give a view, but I know our pricing very well. But typically, you'll find higher fees for your off-the-shelf solutions. And I think, the industry is probably at about 25, 30 basis points for larger investment sizes. And then, there might be some special deals here and there to take it down to say like 20, 15, somewhere there. On our side, we start off at 25 basis points, and then it's a sliding fee scale depending on the asset size, going down to 10 basis points. Because it's the nature of our business. Who pays for those fees at the end of the day? It's me and you. We are not advisors. It's actually not the advisor that's paying, and there's no reason for us to be charging the members who actually own us a lot more.
Yeah, your model is slightly different than the rest.
So for us, we need to be cognizant of that fact in everything that we do. That we are owned by our members, and so therefore there's no need for us to be taking from them to give to them in one way or the other. So I think we are priced quite aggressively on the downside.
So except for the fee structures. Why should advisors consider, amongst all the myriad of options, using the PPS DFM structure?
Yeah, so I mean, I can tell you now that the PPS is probably one of the last standing mutuals. I've bought another one, but in being a DFM, there's certain things that we need to do to amplify what the members can generate from a profit share point of view. We know how to think about it, but not most people know how to think about it. And it's always a learning when you engage with somebody like, hey, we're mutual, this is what we do. We actually give back some of the retained earnings as profit share to the members that holds products from PPS. And so even everything that we do is centered around it. So if you do have professional clients, so that's anybody with a 4-year degree, and we, Michelle just unveiled to the world Glue, which is going to even go deeper into the market. And so if you've got anybody who qualifies from that point of view, let's just keep it to PPS for now. Anybody who qualifies to be a professional, it makes sense for you to have them on the PPS Investments platform. It makes sense for you to have a manager who thinks like that, who doesn't just think, oh, I need to optimize for returns, and that's it. So, but it doesn't mean that we water down the returns just for that. Because we've got the partnership asset managers where we've got the likes of Terabint, we've got the likes of 361 Capital Group globally and what have you, and those are fantastic managers. But they are not just fantastic managers; they're fantastic managers inside our sub-advised set of unit trust funds that generate a profit share for the members. So it's a different way of thinking. So for as long as you're dealing with professional clients, or you've got any professional clients in your book, you probably want to start thinking about the PPS Investments DFM.
Yeah, and the mutual model makes so much sense. Max, any exciting plans for PPS in the DFM space? I have heard some stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's always exciting stuff, eh? You know, for those that know me, you know, I don't like to sleep. I think I love stress in my life. And unfortunately, that goes for this for the PPS Investments Expo. So, I mean, we're doing a lot of things. There's post-retirement income solutions that we're looking at. We just looked at Sharia solutions as well. So we've got some because we've got a lot of Muslim clients, and for us. Hyper-personalization is something that's quite key. We're looking at hard currency solutions as well. So yeah, we are really pushing and we are ensuring that we've got solutions to fit any advice process to fit any requirements coming from our advisors. And there's some things that are a lot more purpose driven. Our active play in education.
That's what I
We
wanted to hear.
recently yeah, so it's quite exciting, eh? We like and that one it hits home with me. Education as something that is
Yeah.
important. I will do it any day, anytime.
Yep.
So the team is working on something that I think the world is just going to marvel at it, and any South African will get behind it. So far we've committed to that. We already have assets in the Ideas Fund. We've committed. We're now committing to other funds as well. They're building schools. They've got. I mean, I mean, it's a fantastic story when you hear about it. We had a session the other day where we brought doctors that they were unemployed, and then they started their own business, and we had them over. So there's just a lot of things that this business is doing, and getting behind professionals and saying, listen, well, how can we do? What can we do? How can we showcase a lot more of our mutuality, a lot more of our purposeful investing? So you'll see it coming through, whether it's gender equality, whether it's education, you'll see it coming through, and it's going to be tangible. It's not just going to be something that we talk about. It's going to be extremely tangible.
It's very exciting stuff. And Max, I
Yeah.
think a last word to the FAnews audience, who's the advisors and those young people that you mentioned.
Yeah, no, so I'll just say, listen, just look out for us. We are coming into the regions. We're having conversations. And for us, we've been running the DFM for about 7 years. We just haven't been vocal in the market, but now we're starting to be vocal in the market. And if you do have professional clients, give it a try. Even though you might have another DFM, just give it a try and see, because it is a real return focused type of investment philosophy that we approach in how we invest money. And I think that's something very different. I've been in the industry for some time. I love investments. I'm very tech. For those that know me, you know very well that I'm very technical. And when I see something that's good, I'll say that it's good. So give it a try, give it a go. You can reach out to us and we can have a chat.
Thank you for your time, Max. Always good to chat, and all the best.
No, thank you for having me.